Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Joe McDonald Experience, AM 570 KLAC. Joe McDonald, Tim Cates, live at Staples Center, WWE News Conference leading into WrestleMania. And one of the men who's going to headline WrestleMania in a triple threat match for the World Championship is none other than the Triple H. And again, Triple H, you talked about how difficult it had to be last year. I remember them showing you on the Hall of Fame dinner and them saying nice stuff about you. It had to kill you to miss it. And now here it is a year later. Talk about the contrast in emotions.
Yeah, I mean, it's last year was tough. I mean, I still enjoy the experience, obviously, and stuff like that, but it's real tough to, when you do that for a living, to sit behind the curtain with 80,000 people going crazy compared to being out there. It's not even comparable. So this year it's doubly sweet for me to be able to come back from the injury period and then to be able to come back and be in this position at WrestleMania again. I couldn't ask for anything more. Yeah, and that's the way I see it. Basically, is it's the return of where I was before I left, and it's the return of the King of Kings going back on his throne.
What's it like to come out here to Los Angeles and hold this press conference, see the fans out here and the support from the fan base here in the Southern California area? It's
awesome. I mean, it's the one thing I think. I'm always amazed when we get all these other media sources out here that don't normally follow us and don't cover us, and they're the first ones to criticize everything we do. But yet, we last year at WrestleMania we outdrew the Super Bowl. This year, we're going to put 70,000+ fans into the Citrus Bowl. We'll probably do one of the biggest buy rate numbers ever. I mean, it's cool to be able to come to a place like this and show people on their turf what we do, you know what I mean, and that's cool. But as far as the fans go, LA's always crazy, so to be able to come out to LA and as you heard tonight, the fans were insane, so that's always a blast. These things are fun for us.
I was watching your face when Floyd Mayweather came out and started throwing the money around and doing his little act out there. Well, what do you embrace having guys from outside the world of wrestling come into your circle?
Sure, it's great because it just puts more eyeballs on us. I think to me, anytime we do things, with years ago when we did stuff with Tyson or whoever it is, it just puts more eyeballs on us. It's not what the majority of the fans are going to tune in for. Although I think this year with Floyd, it will bring in a lot of fans that might not necessarily watch wrestling to this pay-per-view. But it definitely helps all the way around as far as media and getting eyeballs on us, and that's what it's all about. We're a show. You know what I mean? And we entertain people. And to me, the exact thing that people knock us for is exactly why we're as successful as we are. Unlike other sporting events where, might be a good game, might not be a good game. I went to the Klitschko fight the other night. I've never been so bored in my entire life. And it was the worst thing I've ever seen. You're not going to get that. You come to our show. For whatever you want to call it, sports, entertainment, whatever you want to call what we are, we will always over-deliver on what we say we're going to give you, and you will never leave one of our shows going, well, that wasn't very good. You know what I mean? It's always something where we're going to deliver exactly what we say we're going to deliver to you, and we're going to give you one hell of a show. And that's what we're all about. Vince says it all the time. We're about putting smiles on people's faces, and that's what we do. And people get lost in the behind the scenes or all the other crap, just like there is in any other industry or any other profession. And we're a double-edged sword because we're kind of neither fish nor fowl. This is just, for example, and this makes me laugh, is I'm listening to all these people now that are going to say that Floyd's insane for stepping into the ring with the Big Show because his boxing career could be over. These are the same people that give us no credit because what we do is fake. Right. You know what I mean? And don't see us as athletes. So which is it? You know what I mean? And it's just ironic to me that they feel that way.
Well, I always tell people that these guys are phenomenal athletes. They work out every day. They're on the road, for how long, whoever knows. And they're athletes who are throwing their bodies over the ring, onto the floor, into the corners, but they're putting on an entertaining show as well. And a lot of people can't seem to get that through their heads. Like you said, neither fish nor fowl. Which way do we go?
What I've always looked at it like this. It's kind of like people go to see like figure skating at the Olympics in a competition, and they all do the stuff, and it's for points, and it's very exciting, and people get into it. But just as many people go see the ice capades, which is the same stunts and the same tricks and the same things on skates, just not done in a competition setting. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean they're any less athletic, doesn't mean they're any less performers than the guys doing it in the Olympics. Matter of fact, most of the Olympic guys go in and do that later. You know what I mean? it's the same thing. We're just putting on a show, but it doesn't mean we're not athletes. It doesn't mean we don't put our bodies on the line. I can attest to that. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean we don't put our bodies on the line, and it doesn't mean that. I hate when people say, "Oh, it's such a hazardous business," or this and that. It's a terrible business, but we all make a choice to be in this business. I do it because I love it. When I tore my quad the first time, a lot of people said, "Why don't you hang it up?" Because I don't want to hang it up. Because I love doing this. I mean, you know what I mean? I want to do it until I can't do it anymore. And it's that sometimes I don't understand people's mentality as to the way they feel about stuff or the way they see our business and why they have such a negative attitude towards it. It is what it is, and if you just accept it for that, it's just an exciting show to watch.
I think people, too, don't understand that when you guys are out there in the ring, whether you guys have had a bad day, a good day, whether you're mad at the guy across the ring from you, you've got to protect them. They've got to protect you. This is a business where you guys, you're throwing your bodies around. If one guy makes the wrong move, we've had broken necks, we've had broken legs, everything that could happen. I think a lot of people don't understand that aspect of it.
Sure. No, accidents happen, things happen in the ring, but you're trying the best to put on the ultimate show that you can put on, and make it. It's like making a movie. You want to make that movie as believable as possible and as realistic as possible, but you don't want anybody to get hurt making it. You know what I mean? The same thing for us. We're trying to make it as believable and as realistic and as convincing as possible, but without it, injuring people. But mistakes happen and things happen, and it's a physical business.
What's it like for you? Because, people who follow the business know that you're Vince McMahon's son-in-law. You're married to Stan. By the way, congratulations on your next child coming up. And people are always saying when something goes on, Triple H is in it for himself. Triple H is controlling everything that's going on. I mean, you've had other wrestlers say, too. How do you react to that?
I don't care. You know what I mean? I know what I do, and I know where I am in the business, and I know what I put into the business, and you can't control other people's opinions or what they think, and 99% of the people that say those things have no involvement on the inside of our business and don't know. It's real easy to say things about stuff when you know nothing about it. And a lot of times you get athletes that are if things don't go exactly, there's a lot of egos in our business. I'm no different than anybody else. I got a big ego too, just like everybody else in the business does. But when somebody leaves here and things didn't go exactly the way they wanted it to, and rather than saying, well, I wasn't good enough or I didn't perform to that level, it's a whole lot easier to say, well, it's somebody else's fault, and it's real easy to say, well, Triple H did this or Triple H did that, and the reality of it is, why would I? From a logical standpoint, if you're going to look at it that way and say, okay, I'm in that family and this is as much my business as it is, you know what I mean? Why would I then jeopardize that business just to make myself look good? You know what I mean?
At the expense of the business.
Yeah, at the expense of the business, which is, a future for not only myself, my wife, my kids, their kids. You know what I'm saying? It's just ludicrous. And I don't put a lot of stock into it. I don't put a lot of thought into it. It doesn't really. There was a time at first when people started saying it where I was like, man, I worked my ass off to get to where I am, and just because I met this person and we fell in love, I'm all of a sudden now I never did anything, to get there. It bothered me at first, but it very quickly went away, Well,
listen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time, and the best of luck to you, and stay healthy.
Thank you very much.
Triple H.